It's almost like the contracts, are the new slave chains, right? So, you have to sign this contract and sign this document and sign this document. It's like you're binded to this. And then if you break that, that's your livelihood, that's your life.
So I have to admit, I did not see the idea of contracts being slavery. Did not see that idea coming from the left. Although I should have. There's a specific reason why they're doing this. It's important to know why. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but you saw it. That was broadcast live on ESPN for America to see. Then they bring out Ibram X. Kendi, who has no credibility, so they have no credibility. Have you seen the news about Kendi recently? So I want to play that again. I want you to pay attention. Then I'm going to talk about why it's important to know what drives this crazy thinking. Here it is.
It's almost like the contracts, are the new slave chains, right? So, you have to sign this contract and sign this document and sign this document. It's like you're binded to this. And then if you break that, that's your livelihood, that's your life. So we the new slaves. Athletes are literally the new slaves because we need this. Our families, our friends depend on this contract to eat. Yeah.
So what drives this thinking? You might think it's just some kind of leftist virtue signaling or it's just identity politics. No, it's much worse than that. It's Marxism. These people are Marxists. They're not anti-racist like they say. They're not really promoting civil rights. What they're promoting is Marxism. They don't believe in contracts because they don't believe in capitalism. Can you imagine a capitalist system without contracts? No, you can't imagine that. Nobody can imagine that. It would all fall apart. And that's the goal here. The goal is not freedom. The goal is Marxism, their twisted version of freedom. And it's really sad to see because that kind of thinking will lead to more destruction in our economy. It'll also lead to people not seeking real opportunities. It leads to everyone thinking they're a victim even when they're not victims. Plus, it's an insult to those who really were slaves, to those who really did live in Jim Crow. Imagine their sons, their ancestors, getting opportunities like playing in the NFL for millions of dollars, and then someone telling them, well, they're actually slaves. They wouldn't buy it. They would think it's absurd because it absolutely is absurd. But it's beyond just absurd, like I said. It's Marxism. They're pushing a specific agenda because their goal is radical transformation of our system, of our economy, and they want to use the race card to get there. And it's sad, and unfortunately, this is not the first time we've seen this. Colin Kaepernick was one who pushed this kind of thinking. Remember?
Colin Kaepernick's new docuseries titled Colin in Black and White is out on Netflix. It takes a closer look at how the former NFL quarterback navigated race and activism leading up to the moment he took a knee during the national anthem. At one point, Kaepernick compares the NFL draft process to a slave auction. NBC News correspondent Vaughn Hillier takes a closer look at the film and how people are responding.
What they don't want you to understand is what's being established is a power dynamic.
Former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick's new Netflix special igniting debate on social media after it compared the NFL's drafting process and its workout performance review called the Combine to slavery.
Next one coming up, best one we got.
In the opening minutes of the special titled Colin in Black and White, a line of black actors playing NFL prospects morph into slaves at an auction with shackles on them.
Look at this here. Come on, who wants this?
I think what we're supposed to take away from the comparison of the NFL Combine to a slave auction is the question of dehumanization and the ways that there are power imbalances related to race and class in how that dehumanization takes place.
The Netflix special promoting the story of Kaepernick's formative years navigating race, class, and culture. Some critics rejecting the slave auction comparison on social media, including Utah's Republican Congressman Burgess Owens, a former NFL player who tweeted out, How dare Kaepernick compare the evil endured by so many of our ancestors to a bunch of millionaires who chose to play the game? In 2016, Kaepernick, then a star for the San Francisco 49ers, began kneeling or sitting during the national anthem, protesting police brutality and racism.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people that are being oppressed.
After other players followed his lead, the NFL in 2018 implemented a no-kneeling policy during the national anthem, threatening to fine teams with players who refused to stand. That same year, basketball star LeBron James commented on HBO's The Shop Uninterrupted.
And in the NFL, they got a bunch of old white men owning teams, and they got that slave mentality. And it's like, this is my team. You do what I tell y'all to do.
The NFL has not commented on Kaepernick's comparison. No team has signed Kaepernick, now 33 years old, since 2017.
Where does he anticipate a conversation like this going from here?
You speak out about the combine and make this comparison to actually change the combine. While systems may be lined up against you, those systems are possible to change. I just think he wants to be a living monument to that.
This kind of rhetoric truly is sad to see, because capitalism has been a force for good in the world, and this kind of leftist, Marxist agenda, twisting the truth to perpetuate that narrative, to push that agenda, it's going to hurt a lot of people. It's going to ruin a lot of opportunities. It's just insane to see.
The Yappy Program on WVNN.